military is very structured and they have their own culture that you have to adjust to. So if you're used to making your own decisions and doing your own things, like you wake up when they tell you to wake up, you eat when they tell you to eat, they tell you to jump, you jump, you wear your uniform the way they tell you to wear your uniform, but
No ifs, no buts, huh?
no ifs, no buts.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm still here. I said I was gonna be consistent. This is episode. This is 4, 5, 5 or 6. One of those. But I'm still here, and today I got the first female women as a guest today, which should be exciting. I got Ellyn with me today. Um, Army
Yes,
nurse,
yes,
mother,
yes,
wife.
yes.
That's a lot when you put it like that. That's a lot in life. How do you handle all that?
Yeah, well, I'm actually out of the army now, but it was a big part of who I was. I actually got out in 2019, but I mean,
Wait,
I
yeah, let me take it back. Yeah, let's start with the
yeah.
army. How did you get into that?
So I grew up in a family that was a little challenging, significant mental illness, substance use. I was kind of the caretaker of the family. I have five brothers and
Oh
sisters. We
wow.
have foster kids coming in and out of our house, but um, there was a lot of lows and highs. And I met my husband when I was 15. And
15? Oh
yes,
wow.
15. But I already had goals in life. Like I wanted to join the Air Force. I wanted to do all these things. In my senior year of, actually at 16, well, 15, 16, I actually moved out of my house and moved in with his mother and him. And then I got pregnant my senior year of high school. So at that point, I poured my focus into my daughter at the time and tried to navigate, first of all, living on my own at a young age, doing all that. But then later in life, um, when my kids were in junior high, they about there, I decided to tap back into kind of my own dreams, which was to go into the military, and I had a
So that was a
very
dream of yours.
yes,
Wow.
yeah, but I was already a nurse by then.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
So you
So
were a nurse in the army or
I was not a nurse per se. I did more like public health, so medical.
still in the same field? Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. So how's that? Because you were a nurse, you were a
Yep.
mother.
Yep.
I feel like that's a big decision to to
Yes.
make.
It was, and
Do you regret it?
honestly, no, not at all. It honestly has opened up a lot of doors for me. The only reason why I was able to do any of that is because I had a very supportive partner. Um, my husband has always kind of just sat back and gone for the ride. Um, and, he's a big family man, so his sole kind of purpose in life is to bring joy to his kids and
That's the
his
best. I can
family.
relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was, I told him, what do you think? And it was reserves, right? So ignorant Ellen didn't know that I went into a career path in the military that was only 500 people in the whole entire United States Army that did my job, which means that I
Oh wow.
deployed and I went away a lot, even in my early like military career. So um, it was an adjustment. It was also an adjustment because I joined when I was almost 30 in the military. And so usually 17, 18 years old, you go into the military, you're ignorant, you're not kind of conformed to like your own beliefs and morals and values. I went in with all those things already, and so trying to adjust all that was challenging, but
Who-
it was good.
What was it like? There was younger people, or
Well,
was
no,
that a challenge or no?
no, actually, not at all. I actually met beautiful
Yeah.
people from around the world, and it actually opened my eyes to be less ignorant, right? Because you learn about people from different cultures in different part of the country. And I worked in NATO bases and met people from literally around the world. Um, and that part was not hard. It's that the military is very structured and they have their own culture that you have to adjust to. So if you're used to making your own decisions and doing your own things, like you wake up when they tell you to wake up, you eat when they tell you to eat, they tell you to jump, you jump, you wear your uniform the way they tell you to wear your uniform, but
No ifs, no buts, huh?
no ifs, no buts. And there wasn't a lot of room for creativity or ideas or anything like that. It was the way that it was, and that's the way that it was. And that was hard for me because I'm not that type of person.
What did your family think about it?
Everyone was shocked when I first went into the military. There was a lot of mixed feelings. I think some people thought I was like abandoning my family.
Mm.
Um, Others, you know, they were more concerned about my well being. Um, at the end of the day, I felt supported, but there was a lot of questions about like why I did what I did.
Were you
Um,
questioning yourself or?
yeah, I mean, I was more just, it was so unknown what territory I was walking into, so it was uncertain what was going to happen. And I think that had I known the commitment and the level of, uh, how much it would take me away from my family, I think I probably wouldn't have gone in at that time. But I was already deep in at this point, so you
Yeah.
just adjust and do what you got to do. Um, I think after I got out of basic, I came back. I was at drill on the weekends and I got deployed like this. So they call me to deployment and I had to go to Louisiana and to Texas. And then from Texas, I went to Afghanistan.
Oh wow.
And so I was in Afghanistan over a year and it was very challenging to be away from my family like that because I didn't think that I'm like it's just the reserves. I'm not going anywhere. But
How
I
long
was
did that year felt?
well, I think that it went pretty fast
Yeah.
actually because I actually said if I'm going to deploy and be away from my family, I am going to use this time wisely. So while I deployed, I actually was everywhere in Afghanistan. My job, it was me and one other person, and we traveled all across the country on convoys. I was on over 100 helicopter rides in convoys and met tons of people and did like surveys of like their camps and stuff. But I also had every Sunday off, and every Sunday I went to school and I got like half my master's degree done.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of commitment too, when you think about it. Um what's something that that stuck to you till now? Like,
Military?
yeah, wise.
I'm very disciplined.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and goal oriented. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. It doesn't matter what gets in my way. Um, Especially when people tell me I can't do
Oh, I love it.
something,
I
that
love it.
is like
Yeah.
fuel for my soul. I'm like, you want to make a bet? I actually did, while I was there, I also did a certification in MMA fighting, and I was like one
That's
of
badass.
only I think there was only two other females in that class, and I was like, they're like, do you want to do it? And I'm like, everybody else is doing it. Why not? So we did intense training and I did like MMA stuff. It, a little bit different in the military, but it's
No, it's
pretty
still,
much the
yeah.
same thing. So, but again, you're not going to do it. Then we had like a mission, a challenge where we were going to run 10 miles. In Afghanistan, it was 120 something degrees, and that was
Jesus.
like on a good day. So we woke up at like 4 in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna do it, Ginding." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." I
Watch
was
this.
the only female that ran that 10 miles. I was like, "I'm
Where
getting
does
to the
that come
end."
from? that mindset?
Life, right? It's survival. You gotta, that was my whole life. I got my first job when I was 10 babysitting. Then I got my real first job at 12, 14. I was working. Like, that's just been my whole life. I've been just doing my thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Since a youngin, huh?
Since a youngin'.
Was that because, like you said, growing up with like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, my family did the best they can. I have no ill will, but like I said, it was riddled with mental illness, and we were I was kind of the mom to my three younger siblings for a very long time, and I found freedom with my husband, right? And so I kind of just did what I had to do, and but I've always been a very driven, um, goal-oriented person,
so
for
somebody
sure.
told me to ask you this. How did you meet your husband?
So, remember back in the day where you drove around downtown over and over and over again? Well, one day I was hanging out with my friends walking down the street, and my husband, his brother, and cousin drive up and say, "Want to go for a ride?" And I got in the car.
Sounds crazy nowadays.
But I used to hitchhike everywhere. Like when I was a kid, I was a little wild. I'm not going to lie.
Was this in Worcester?
Yeah.
Nice. How do you
Yeah.
call it? So going back to that day, do you believe in like love at first sight, or is it like did you like know, or you just happened?
I don't know about love at first sight, but I truly believe in a
Destiny?
greater power, and things happen for a reason when they're meant to happen. So, he always tells me that I saved his life because he was into like some shit when he was a kid, and so wasn't I in a sense. But he actually saved my life because I didn't know what family was. Like, I didn't have that like connection of what true family is, and his family taught me what it actually was to have a family and to be loved and cared for, and he is so much like that, and he brings that into
He's
my
Puerto
family.
Rican, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Is that? Do you think that's like a cultural thing, or
I mean, yeah, I think a big part of it is cultural, but I also think that he also has an amazing mother. She was a single mother. Um, she was a hard mother,
yeah,
but
that plays a factor, huh? Because you're
yes,
describing him, and I could see myself like that too. And
yes,
yeah, my mom was a single mother too,
yeah,
so it's like it's hard. How do you think he like struggle? Like, cause you said 15, that's he's still a baby then.
yeah. He was 17. I was 15, but
Okay, so
yeah,
yeah, but still young.
yeah.
Have you seen him like kind of like struggle of like things that men are supposed to do in life, or like him having to learn it by himself? I say that because that's something I struggle with. It's like
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we grew up together. Who I was at 15 is definitely
mm,
not who I am today. I think, a lot of people, because we just hit our 30 years together.
congrats, wow.
And people are like, how do you make it work? I think it has to be both people putting in the same amount of effort. And I actually heard about, um, you know, somebody say 50-50, but it's not really
Mm,
50-50. Like,
amen.
everybody is in different places. Like, when I'm struggling, he steps up. When he's struggling, I step up. There's no measurement. We just support each other through our own journeys. Like, I'm a very independent woman. I'll go travel without him. He's more of a homebody. He's like, no, not without you. But we just work. Like,
Sometimes it's that simple. It just
yeah,
works.
we just work, but we do the work. And
Mm.
I think, um, I adore and appreciate him, and I tell him I appreciate everything
That's a
that he
question. Actually, that's
does.
funny you brought that up because I had that written down. How do you, after so many years, how do you still make him feel like he's appreciated? Because I feel like that's hard.
Yeah.
In relationship, we get comfortable, we forget what we used to do. In our early days, the honeymoon phase, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like it's tougher, you know, as a guy. I feel like that's why guys stop showing love because they don't feel appreciated.
Well, everybody's appreciate, like they talk about the five love
Yep. Yep.
languages and like how everybody loves different. I think appreciation is the same way. Like everybody feels appreciated, but there is nothing wrong with saying thank you.
Mm.
Like, thank you for doing the dishes. You really stepped up today. Or thank you
Oh wow.
for, I mean, I can't even think of something last night. I forget what it was, but he like stepped up and did something that, I could have done, but he took it on. And I just said, thank you. I really appreciate you. And I think that means a lot in because you're seen, you're not just expected to do something. Um, he helped me out yesterday with my aunt. He didn't even question it. And then afterwards, I'm like, I know that was hard. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And, that just shows respect. Like you're not getting taken advantage of,
Mm.
that you're not getting complacent, because you have to feel like you're valued. And that's
That's
important for
very important. Yeah.
everybody. And so I think that's part of why we've been so,
What's something that
good.
works for you guys when you guys are like, when things are feeling kind of off, like something, a lot of people say go on a date every weekend. What's something that brings you guys back to like,
It depends. I think it depends on what is making things off. Like if it's us because like, it's just one of those weeks where like every little stupid thing is annoying each other. Um, Talking about, how we are feeling is definitely important. Um, but also just going out and I am in the firm belief of having fun. Like you have to have fun. Life is way too
hey
serious.
man,
You have to find the joy in little things in life. I love to just like be spontaneous. I am not a planner. I will never be a planner. I get up on a Saturday morning and I'm like, let's go. We get in the car and we just take the ride and land places. And, usually when we're in bad spaces, like that's what we do. We just get out of the house and just let the life navigate us to our next adventure because you never know what you're going to find. And we found some fun stuff to do
that's
just by
cool.
driving.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think I did that the other day. We ended up in Target.
It,
Yeah,
it's
it
still,
was Westboro Target, but I was like, I don't think I've been to this one, and I just kept driving. I did the same thing. I was like, I gotta get out of this house. I'm like, I think
yes,
it was like a Saturday too. I was like, I've been home all day. Like, I can't
yes,
do that. That's gonna mess up my mood. That's gonna mess up your mood if my mood's not there. So it's the
exactly.
little things. You said you were a mother of two, if I'm not mistaken.
I am, yep.
Your oldest is
Lexi is 26. She'll be 27, and Jai is gonna be 25 this year.
oh wow,
Yeah.
how time goes, huh? Because now that I
Yes.
have two
A
girls, I'm like,
blink of an
yeah,
eye.
my girl's about to start kindergarten on
I
Thursday. And
know.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. I said this before, guys. I get emotional when it comes to them
Yes,
because it's like, it's a bittersweet moment. Like,
it is.
I'm happy they're growing up, but I'm like, wow, time really flies by, huh?
Yes. I think having adult kids is hard in its own way because you have to be careful. So for me,
Yeah.
particularly, like I am not somebody to give unsolicited advice. Like I feel like that's an invasion of people's like if they come to you and ask you for advice, it's one thing, but for me to pour things on people, especially my kids, they feel it as judgment, and that's not what it's meant to be. Um, so like they'll come to me and be like, "Ma," and I'm like, "Do you want to vent or do you want advice?" That's my two things I say. If they say vent, just let it out. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna whatever. But if you want advice, like you have to be prepared to hear the hard stuff too.
Truth.
And it's been a hard navigation because it's a switch. Like you're used to leading them to greatness and now they're kind of navigating their life and sometimes they have to fail on their own in order to really succeed because you know what success does not come without failure at all.
Couldn't say that better or louder. But it's
Yes.
true. For like having a girl, it's like, I feel like this is things I think about when I'm
Yeah.
alone. I'm like, how do you deal with like, the love, because sometimes they struggle with that. it's like finding a good guy, and I feel like it's different, from the mother side to the father side. So how do you guys deal with that? You would say when it comes to your girl?
So I think the mother daughter dynamic is different than the father
Yeah,
daughter dynamic, 100%. Um, you can't be loved unless you love yourself. So that is, if I was ever to give any advice, is the way that you show up for yourself is the only way that you can give to somebody else. Because if you're not in a good place mentally, your significant other feels that. Like, I walk in my house, if I'm in a bad mood, the whole house, even without me saying anything or whatever, you can
it's the
feel that
energy.
energy.
Yeah, it's the energy.
And so, if you are not in a good place to find love or be in a relationship, now this is 40 something plus years of experience, but it's hard to be able to be in a relationship. You have to find yourself first. And then once you get there, you meet somebody that is going to honor you and respect you and um, put the energy to make it work, I
Mm.
guess, because it's both sides, it's not just one. And take ownership. I hate people that place the blame on the opposite person because everybody has a part to play.
So what percent is that? That's a high
Yeah.
percentage. Everybody wants to play the victim,
Yeah.
and they'll tell their own story to
Yes.
benefit them. So it's like it's hard.
Yes. You have to be humble enough to be like, this is where I could have done better. And if you are able to do that in a relationship, that just shows that you're putting in the work, right? Because it's not just about the faults of the other person. You can't change the other person. The only one you can change is
Yourself.
yourself. And then hopefully they go for the ride with you. And they'll, we're mentors to everybody that we meet in life.
Mm.
And so you coach your partner too. Like if you're in a good way, um, things that I try to grow on, right, automatically translates to my husband because if he sees that I'm trying to better myself, he's like, huh, let me do that too. An example is like, um, I'm in the gym and doing all that stuff, and that's recent. Like just the beginning of the year, I started to get back into fitness and stuff, and now like him and I are doing it together, and because he's trying to, move with me and make those
That's
moves
awesome.
for himself.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love hearing that. Um, you just talked about mental health right now. Where are you right now at your mental state?
Honestly, I mean, I'm in a part of my life
After
where like
work.
hormones are like going crazy because I'm at like middle age. Um, but I actually uh, have a lot of peace in my life, to be quite honest. It has taken setting a lot of boundaries in my life and um, defining what those mean for me. And I think that's really important for everybody to do, even the people that you love the most. You
Mm.
get to set the rules that you want to play by, in a sense, right? And that does not fare well with everybody, right? You lose relationships because of that. But I am not somebody that will intentionally hurt or be disrespectful, so I don't want that in return. Anyone that uses words as a weapon that are in my circle, I won't tolerate it because I would never do that to you, so I would not want to be treated that way. And so I think peace comes from, and your mental state comes from, um, setting forth what is good for you, and that's different for everybody. And feeling the feels, but not sitting in it. I truly, there's all different modalities of like dealing with trauma and mental health and
Yep.
stuff. I do not believe in looking in the past at all. Like, I think that it's already over with. You
Can't
can't
do nothing.
change
Yep.
anything. So, if you can't change it, you know that it affected you, feel it for a second and be like, you're right. But can it affect you in a good way, right? So, if you had a bad circumstance, for instance, my husband, right? His father was an absent dad. He did the opposite. He used that as fuel to be the
The best
best
dad.
dad.
Yep.
And so, you can either live that way or live in the other way and be like, well, I never had a dad and he was absent and he never taught me how to be a man. Or you can find mentors in your life that can mirror, what you lost through that relationship and find greatness that way. And so, um, circling back, I'm in a good place, but it
Love to hear
also
it.
comes with wisdom and being able to set boundaries. Now I'm not perfect. I have days, but for
We're
the most
human.
part, I'm good.
Pretty good.
Yes,
I'm
100%.
glad you mentioned having mentors. I just want to say it's okay to look up to people. Put your pride aside and you know just look up to those people. It's okay. I know a lot of people have that pride and they're like you know kind of envious. Like this person's doing better than me. And I'm like that's how you lose in life. Being like that and having that mindset. So it's okay to look up to somebody. I just want to say that. And
But Fidel, I gotta say, like, do you have a mentor?
oh
Because
yeah, I have a lot of mentors.
yeah,
They're not like actually no. I have people that like in real life too that I look up. That sometimes I tell them too like but I don't know if they take it serious now that I'm saying it because I just say it to say it and I'm wondering if they know that I mean it. But I have a lot of mentors like motivational speakers I look up to
yes,
online. And that's what I get. I get my mind right from them and recently, I say this year, my whole life changed just like from my mind. Like you, I just started the gym not as the beginning, but I started in June, I think June half through it.
yeah.
And it's just the energy is different.
Well,
Yeah,
that those neurotransmitters in your brain get fired up,
yeah,
and it affects your mood. I mean, exercise is so good for your mental health.
and yeah, and when I'm there, I'm like it's me versus me. So
Yes,
it's just like, and I get like a little break from life.
yes,
So it's yeah, it's helping me so much, and yeah, mentors. Like I got a couple people like even Soli's dad. It's a mentor. Seeing how his family is and how he raised these kids. I'm like, wow, that plays a factor. Seeing
yeah.
people
He's
like
a
that.
hard worker.
Yeah, hard work. I think a little bit too much to be honest.
Yes,
But
agreed.
yeah, but that's a even Iso's man Nando.
Yep.
Um, just things like that. I'm like my stepdad. Hard worker too. I'm like he came to this country and made it happen just like that. My mom, those are mentors to me that, you know, and sometimes you're a mentor, you don't even know you're a mentor. So it's like even you right now, things you're saying, I'm like I didn't know. Like I said in the beginning, sit down, have a nice conversation. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe
Yeah.
you know all that.
Most of my who I am today is because somebody gave me something along the way. Like I always say, I had these strong women that gave me opportunity. And really, I always say this is my catchphrase. The only difference between me and somebody else is opportunity. And you can give that to yourself and to other people. Like by just allowing yourself to put your pride aside and being like, they're asking because they see something in you that is going to add value to the world that they can also give.
But that comes with maturing too. I feel like it's like you were saying
Yes.
with your kids, you want advice or you want this, and
That's,
it's like
yes.
because sometimes when you're like a hothead and you're young, you're like even with the advice, you're like you don't know what you're talking about. And I've been there, when I
Yeah.
was younger, like my mom. But it turns out your mother's always right.
I
I
don't
don't know
know
how.
about
Yeah, I don't know. Oh well, in my situation, that's funny. In my situation, I don't know how. Even maybe your kids could say that,
yeah.
but I'm like maybe it is the wisdom, But it's like I don't know. I feel like as a parent, you have like that gut feeling, And it's like
Yes.
I told you this was gonna happen, And I didn't mean it to make it happen, but it happened.
Well, I mean, if you put it this way, like it just comes from life experience. Like we know through life experience, and you'll see, I'm sure you even see the difference between your girls, like how you were with your first one and
Oh
then your
yeah,
second one. And that's just through experience. And so when you pour that back into your kids, it's because you know what to avoid and like the hurt that's out there. So you give them ways to like build themselves up so that they don't have to, face that same situation. that you did at the end of the day.
No, that is true. I seen this video and I was like, even if you have the same parents, you will never have the same parents. And I was
Yes,
like, ooh. And he
that's
explained it.
true.
Yeah, he explained it.
It's
He was like,
true.
that growing, you're not gonna have the same parents. And I'm like, that's the, it's crazy, but it is true, like you said.
I love that. You know, one of the hardest things about having kids at this age is that they don't they're starting to see you as a person outside of your title, and that is
Is that hard?
hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that
That
hard?
is hard because, like you said, your parents are not your parents that you always had. Because if you have somebody that's striving to always grow and be different, like who I was 5 years ago compared to now is even different. And, you know, it continues to evolve. And that itself is mentoring. You're teaching your family how to evolve into a better version of yourself. And if you do that alone, it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like, I don't know, like you said, love yourself, try your best, and whatever you value, value it. And I
Yes.
feel like you can't lose in life like that, if you really stick to that and have that tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Um, you have what I seen outside looking in. It seems like you have a pretty tight friend group.
I do.
How,
I have few friends, but people that so I call them my tribe.
you try.
And I also have a tribe in my house. So I have a multi so we moved out of Worcester about 5, 6 years ago, and I bought a house.
How was that move?
It was interesting. But my sister came with her girls, and then my brother came to follow, and then my son got married, and his wife moved in, and then my daughter had another kid, so she had two kids, and then so I have now there's 11, 12 people in my house.
Oh wow.
But we coexist, and we have a big enough space,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
where
yeah.
we can hide from each other, which is nice. But we also have a tribe, and it's blended, right? Like it's so many different perspectives that we get to raise each other, like, and raise each other's kids in a sense as a tribe instead of doing it alone, which is nice.
Nah, it is nice. How do you keep that tribe being a tribe?
Uh,
Like
I mean, people fall in and out, right? But the people that are meant to be in your life are forever. And I think it's about being on it. Friends specifically, you know, a lot of the people I knew even 10 years ago, I know them from Facebook and stuff. I'll
yeah,
see their lives pass by, but do they know who I am as a person today? No, they don't know me anymore. And that's okay because the people that do know me align with what I believe in today. And um, we, just like any type of relationship with your, spouse or whomever, your friends, the same situation. You evolve with each other or you don't, and that's okay. They're
yeah.
meant to be in your life for a reason, whether it's to teach you a lesson or to get you through something, or they're like ride or die and they're with you forever.
So can you say you got a couple ride or dies or?
I sure do have a couple ride or dies. Yes, I do.
How's that? Knowing that you have those friends that
It
have been through
wasn't,
it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge, honestly, people say that I have a resting bitch face, and I'm not easy to know. Um, that's one of the feedbacks that people tell me all the time. It's only because of my past, right? I'm guarded. Like I've had shitty things happen to me, so I feel things out first. But once I feel it out and
So what
I
is
feel
like
like,
having a guard up? You say
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I haven't always had the closest friends. The ones that I have now, I met one through work, and she's been in my life for 14, 15 years now. And we just shared a similar story. Like our stories were so close, it's not even funny. And then through her, I met other friends, and I have other friends that, I think everybody brings a different uh, value. Like some friends you could pour everything out to, and They're going to listen. Other friends will tell you the hard stuff that you don't want to hear. Other friends are more social, like you go out and hang out, but like you're not deep
Yeah.
with them, and that's okay. I take everybody for what they are and what they bring into my life for sure. And I'm so grateful to every single one of them.
Yeah. That's good. I feel like that's good to have that friendship.
Yes.
You're a twin.
I am a twin.
How is that? Is it
So,
identical? Or?
no, we're fraternal. So, my twin sister and I were not close at all, until
Oh wow.
our late 20s.
Really?
Yes.
What was that?
Because I had a fucked up family. I had a really messed up beginning. And so we were made to uh, split against each other. Like there was always a bad guy in my family. And so we did not grow up close at all. It wasn't until our 20s.
Who's kind of at fault out there? You know.
I think I mean, we just kind of just like friends. You separate your own way and come back together like later in life. And that's kind of what we did. And um, I don't want to share my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sister's story, but she had her own rough go. And, once we kind of navigated and got settled into who we were as people, we reconnected.
How did that happen?
Well, she was in a tough relationship, and I was there for her,
She
and
reached out to you, or
uh, we always stayed in touch. We just didn't
not that?
stay close.
Yeah.
And I would say even now, we're still working on our closeness, like because we're not huggers. We're not like let's get like down and like talk about the sensitive stuff. It took us even now. We're still working on it, to be quite honest. Um, we're both self processors. When I'm in a bad place or I have something hard that happened in my life, like I just want to be left alone. Like don't talk to me about it because I'm gonna fix it. Trust me. I'm not gonna wallow with it. I'm not gonna be sad about it for a long time, but I gotta think about it, process it, and then once I'm healed, then I'll talk about it with somebody. But that's how she is too. So when you have two people that kind of just like have learned to kind of heal themselves, it's hard to like get deep with each other, I guess would be the best way to put it.
What are some things that they say twins? Like sometimes, do you think that you believe in some of those stuff? Like they say sometimes you guys feel the same things.
I
Or
honestly, not until recently, but I don't know if it's
uh
because we live together or it's just because the twin thing. They say that more with identical twins
yeah,
because they share like
shit, yeah.
more of the same DNA. But I mean, if you have us on the phone, you would not know who we were
Yeah.
at all. You would think that she's me and I'm her. Like we sound exactly the same over the phone.
That's crazy. I do want her on an episode.
You
We
should.
haven't aligned, but
You
I'll make it
should.
happen somehow.
Honestly, like she has so she is the more unfiltered version of me.
Yeah.
Would be the best way to put it. She's free, she's unapologetic for like she'll be crazy wild, go out in the woods and take naked pictures and post it on Facebook and do all these like things that is like, because she just is living her
That's her.
life on her own dime and she doesn't give a shit about what anybody
That's
says.
good though. I feel like
Yeah,
nobody could tell you shit,
yeah,
and if they do, it's like okay, and
yeah. And, so, we're similar in the sense that we have values and whatever, but she's like the more unfiltered version of me.
you keep saying values.
Yes.
What are your like say top three values in life?
Um, I think I would say, um, so I really think it's important to uh, see the other side of the coin. Your perspective of life is only half of what the reality is. And so my number one value is like trying to understand someone else's view on life because we're so easy to judge and like assume that people are coming from a place, but if you don't know their story or why they think the way they do, then who are you to like? And I think that's important, 100% for everybody
Yeah.
to um to do because we are human, and the other thing is to be grateful, right? Because I've been in a point where I've been at my lowest lows and then my highest highs, and I feel like people have come into my life to like help me out, and in reverse, I help people out when I can. And so, being grateful for everything that you have, especially now in my life, like, unfortunately, I'm at the time where people my age, which I don't even feel old, are getting sick. They're getting diagnosed with cancer. They're having like serious life events. They're losing spouses. They're dying, and I'm like, oh,
And you're a nurse, so you see all this.
yes,
I'm like that. I feel like that makes it worse.
yeah. I mean, I'm actually a chief nursing officer, which means that I oversee all the nurses in my whole
Oh wow.
organization. I'm like, and that again through mentorship. Somebody took me under their wing, taught me how to be a nurse leader. I was actually in Worcester. I was the homeless outreach nurse for a very long time. And so I worked out of Hope, and I would go out into tent encampments, and I would meet people on the street, and I would talk to people and, help them through, whatever. I've done a lot of addiction medicine. So mental health, people with substance use disorder, there's so much stigma around it. But you know
Yeah.
what? Most of the time, people don't have like, that's what they know. I always tell people, like, some people don't even know what it's like to leave their zip code. So if they don't know how to leave their zip code, how do they know there's anything else out there that could be different? I teach nursing too. And
You do it
so,
all. You
yeah.
do it
And
all.
so you have to be able to bring that forth to the new generation of nurses, because there's even nurses can be
That's
very
tough though,
critical.
isn't that? Right? I feel like
I don't think so. I teach in adult learners, so most of them are eager to learn. You know, you I have a very keen sense on people, so I have like a spidey sense when people are in it for the right reason and not. And so the people that are usually going to make it, and the people that aren't won't.
no, yeah.
And sometimes you get the stragglers, but either way, yeah, yeah.
What made you become a nurse?
I always wanted to be a nurse since I was like 5 years old. I remember wanting to be a nurse. I don't know what it was. I think I've always been,
Was there a time when you're like, yeah, this is not for me, or you always,
oh, I love being a
yeah?
nurse. Yeah. I think it's hard to be in a leadership role as a nurse, in leadership at all. It's very challenging because you're managing people, and that's challenging, and multi generations of people. So you see like Gen Zs and millennials and baby boomers all working together and talk about values that are different. There's very different values, and you have to bring everybody together and work.
Common ground, kind
Yeah, to
of.
common ground. For me, though, nursing is about um, working with people at their most vulnerable,
Mm.
and um, that is an honor to do. And so, people that go into nursing for the wrong reason, I really struggle with, because these are people under stress. They're scared. Most of the time, they're in circumstances that they don't want to be in,
What would you
and
say is like the wrong reason?
money.
Money. That's what I was thinking.
It's money. It's money. And especially during COVID, they started doing all the travel nursing stuff,
A lot of people, yeah,
and they were paying
they were
stupid
caking. Yeah,
money.
I knew somebody he was doing. He was a boy too, a guy.
Yeah,
He was yeah, he was getting paid.
stupid
He was
money.
getting paid.
Now, I work nonprofit community health centers, so I'm not making all that much money, like not compared to these like
But
travel nurses.
it feels like you're happy
Oh
what you do.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yes.
I feel like you can't beat that then.
No, and honestly, I work in an organization that is in it for the right reason. I have a wonderful leadership team that I work with, and really innovative people. I have amazing staff that work like for the right reason. They're there to work with everybody, no matter where they're at, and that to me is so important. Community health is about working with everybody, and so I love it. I would never work for a privatized organization. Nonprofit is the way to go. Like,
That's you.
yeah, yeah. For me, that's. I mean, right now we're under a lot of threat because of our political climate,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, community health centers were actually brought forth through the grass movement of the Black Panthers, actually.
Really?
And so they used
Oh
to
wow.
give free healthcare to, like, they opened up free healthcare to people in the community during a time where, the Vietnam War and like a lot of uh, open racism, right? Not, well, kind of like today. And so they put together like community health, and it kind of became a movement, and that's what community health centers are. And it stems from the Black
Oh
Panthers.
wow.
Uh huh.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Hmm.
How did you find that out? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've been
Well, there's
in it.
history, so all you have to do is open a book. But if you read anything about, like, if you watch documentaries and stuff like that about any like big movements, yeah, I mean that. But I've been doing community health for like almost my whole nursing career, so I've had a long time to,
To open a book.
yeah, well, open a book and learn through classes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's good. I love it, and I love addiction medicine mainly
Is,
because
is that something in your life that?
not
No, no,
personally,
no, no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
but so many. I
Yeah.
mean, if you haven't been affected by someone that's been addicted to a substance, whether it's alcohol, heroin, stimulants, marijuana now, then I don't know, like,
I heard. I don't know what you believe about like the whole weed thing, but I seen a clip from Pete Davidson,
yep,
and he just came from like rehab. He said, and he's
yeah,
like, it's crazy, like the percentage of people that are in there for weed now.
yes.
He's like, you wouldn't think it, but I'm like, it's crazy because it's so common now, you know. Um,
Well, it's common, but like when I grew up, it was the seed and stems and street weed, right? Now it's all this chemically altered
mm,
stuff. And if you look at marijuana, it's a hallucinogen, right? That's the category it is in. So this makes your brain, it acts like LSD or mushrooms. Like that's what weed does.
yeah,
And so now, because it's so potent, it's hitting places in the brain, usually the frontal lobe, where it is causing even teenagers to go into psychosis.
yeah. What do you,
And it's sad.
yeah, what do you think the future's there with that then? Do you think they're
Um, I think that we
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
funding.
it's tough, yeah.
We don't have funding to be able to provide the education in the school systems. But I remember growing up in a time where it was like the frying pan, and it was like, this is your brain, this is your brain on drugs, right? But that education, so many people have like parents don't allow that type of education in
To
the
the
school
kids,
systems
yeah.
anymore, and it is such a disservice. Like even talking about sex
I was gonna
ed,
say
all
sex
those.
ed. I remember sex ed when I
Yeah,
was younger.
yeah. They don't even talk about that, and it's all political. It's driven by like fear. Like people are afraid to like educate their kids because then they think they're promoting it. But
100%. And I think the problem is too if you're not allowing that and you're not educating them yourself.
yeah,
That's a big issue right there.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think education is so powerful, and like some people, look at it differently. But I think the more that you know, the more informed that you can make your decisions. And at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but at least you know, like the long term repercussions of it. I just hope we come to a point where, you know, if I were to change the world, Fidel,
Yeah.
my number one thing is people have lost purpose in life. And so when you lose purpose and a reason to get out of bed every day, you find it in other things, whether it
Which is
is substances or your phone or so I would invest in all the things that we've lost. There's no after school activities. There's no youth center anymore on whatever. There's no all these things that built kids up to get community and to like depend on things. It's all gone. So
yeah.
they lean on other things that are now socially accepted, like weed.
At an early age too.
Yes.
I feel like now it's earlier than what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the little things too. It's like even going outside and playing.
Yes.
The other day, I went to my mom's and Elena's bike was outside. Like you could see it, and I was like, if that was my bike back in the day, that wouldn't be there. That would be gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
Just because kids were outside playing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. And I had so much energy too. Me thinking of me.
Yeah.
I was probably gone playing basketball, like doing something all day. From like morning to like sundown, and it's like keeping me busy, probably saved my life without even knowing.
Yeah.
You know.
But not only that, it gives you self
Oh,
esteem, right? Like you go play with your boys basketball and you won, like you come back and like,
and
yeah,
it's
I'm
the
a
best thing.
baller,
Yeah,
right?
it's like even like we would saying how quick life goes. I feel like a lot of people, if they could go back to that day, playing outside or doing something after school, or even in school sometimes, um, you're like, wow, life was good, calm. It was
And you have like, like I can't like purpose and self esteem are everything. Once you learn how to ride a bike, like you're a little bit more confident to do something else. So people live in fear now because they're not taking the steps to accomplish the little goals in their life, like riding a bike, driving a car. You know how many people I know that don't drive, that are in their 20s
yeah,
because they're afraid of driving? That is because like all those other things that they could have accomplished when they were younger, they didn't do because we're in a different time. And so you have to be able to face your fears in order to build confidence. Like I got this. My first day of school, I'm gonna go in and rock it. And now it's like everybody's nervous because like bullying comes home with them. Like there's so much that happens.
that's a tough. I feel like conversation
Yeah.
because I feel like bullying back then it was always there. You
Yeah,
know.
it is. The only difference I think now is that you could leave it at your door, at the door, where now people do a lot of social media shaming, like even like sexual
Yeah.
shaming. And so, and that's forever. Like you can't get rid of
Yeah,
that.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Where before you had people in school, you go home and that was your safe haven. You don't have that safe haven anymore. If I was to do it all over again, I would have waited a long time before I gave my kids a phone because they were introduced to like that social aspect of things. Like I think, and I waited till they were like 12 or 13. But kids are getting phones at like I don't even know what
8,
age
7.
now. Yeah, but I mean I know we have to keep up with the times, but you also want to be protective
Cautious. Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
all that stuff that they're exposed to.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I do good. I'm good at.
Mm.
I like to keep it real with my kids. It's
Yes.
like this and that. Even since an early age, I think my daughter was like, "What's that smell?" And I think Sully was like, "It's a skunk," and I was like, "It's not a skunk.
Yeah.
It's weed." I was like, "It's a drug. It's a type of drug." And now she knows. She knows the difference. When she
Yeah.
smells, she's like, "I know what that is now." And it's things like that. I'm like, she's gonna find out eventually.
I agree.
So but I tell her, the truth. You have
Yes.
to. She's just like,
I honestly appreciate that so much. Like because that's how I was with my kids. Like they're
And it makes a difference.
it does, and I mean they're otherwise they're learning the wrong information from their friends, and you know how many kids like still don't know like what sex is. They only learn it from their friends, and that information is all types of skewed.
All the videos they're watching too
Yes,
nowadays. It's things like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's yeah. I mean, I'm 100% transparent.
Saying.
100% always been, and I still, you obviously tell things like in an age
Yeah. Yeah.
appropriate
Of
way,
course. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like, yup, I appreciate that so much
Yeah.
because I think people are afraid to be honest with kids, but guess what? They're really smart and they're gonna
Oh,
pick
they're
up
so
on it
smart. Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. I think kids are so smart.
Oh,
Uh,
especially yours. She's
but
a
that's what I'm
brilliant.
saying. I feel like that it's me playing a factor, ever since she was young. People might call me crazy. I remember I used to put like my videos, like motivational videos. She was right there watching. I'm like, I feel like that plays a factor. I even tell her
Yes,
now, I was like, I tell her she's the best, and no matter if people don't like what she does, as long as she likes it, life is
it's
good.
it's
And
true.
it plays a factor because sometimes she does get sad when they say something. I'm like, I have to remind her. I'm like, remember this, and then she's like, Dad, you're right. I am the best. Like, and I like it. Like if it's like a painting, she's like, I like it, and I was like, you like
Good,
it?
a hundred
Then what?
percent.
Then nothing else matters if you like it. So it's things like that, you know. And I feel like I probably goes back to what you said with your husband. It's like not having a dad or whatever. But I had a great mom.
Mm,
So it's like, yeah, it's like sometimes it's like it sounds weird, but I'm thankful he left because I'm like, would I still be this person if he was there, or would I be the type of father I am? Having a father.
yeah,
I'm like, not having him made me the dad I am today, and for
exactly.
that, I'm truly blessed because, you
And
know,
you got a mother and a father out of one person,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah, psh, great, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like with your parents, you can never repay them back, but it's like I feel like I'm a pretty good guy,
Yeah.
so it's like,
I think you just give back by giving the world of, yourself and what because regardless of what you think, you are going to change at least one person's life in this world. And that's all you have to do. Like, even like through this platform and others, like, you don't understand the impact that you can actually have on other people's lives until you actually live your life and, see kind of where it goes with no intention other than bringing, like, honing into your passion. Like, my passion is nursing, right? I also like doing a lot of other things, but like, all those things, like, it influences people in different ways, right? And so I change people by just, I love the water and kayaking and outdoors. So people that don't necessarily go outside and do those things, they'll come with me and they enjoy it
joy, yeah,
too. And then maybe they get a new passion and then they teach somebody else that passion and it just gets
it's a
passed.
cycle,
Yeah, it just gets passed along. So it
and
doesn't have to be this big thing.
yeah, and I feel like the beauty, like you just said, those are things that make you. That's
Yes.
you. And I feel like by just being you, that's the impact you need.
Yes.
Everybody needs, and it's like there's nothing better than being you.
It's true.
Like even with this platform, you guys see me, I'm me. Like I don't care what you guys think, or because at first I think I was getting a lot of like hate comments. Oh, he's an emotional guy. I am emotional, but that doesn't mean sometimes I'm hard too, and
Yeah.
that's just who I am, and I'm okay with that, and that's okay. So
So one of the things that I will say to you, just as being a mentor,
yeah,
is
yeah,
that my emotions were always used against me as a weapon, and I always looked at it as like, oh, a weakness or whatever, especially in the military,
yeah,
right? Even in my family, even in this type of job, as a CNO, right? Like, I'm at the head of like the head of an organization, and I'm an emotional person. But do you know what's so beautiful about being an emotional person is that you are able to give that to other people, and you're empathetic. You actually feel. You allow the people in your life to actually be vulnerable with you. You're authentic, and those things are things that are way more powerful than like sucking it up and trying to
Yeah.
be somebody that you're not. And so don't ever let anybody use emotions
No.
against you because I did for a very long
No, yeah,
time.
yeah. I feel like we all do, but I feel like when you find that, I don't know. Like I was saying recently, I'm like, I'm calm, I'm at peace, and I
Yeah,
feel free right now. Like this is the best I ever felt in my life,
that's
and it's
awesome.
and I learned how to control my emotions too. I was like things like that. I don't know. I don't think nobody could hurt me right now. Other than the man above if something happens. But other than that, like things you say about me, that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm cool.
I mean, once in a while I get my feelings hurt, but you know what? Then I'm like, you know what? You're a badass bitch. So who cares what other people think?
Just your story when you first started, I was like, you're pretty badass to me. I
Yeah.
tell you that. Couple questions before we end it. What's this chapter of your life if you had it to title it?
Now I think it's the second half because right, I'm in middle age. My kids are all grown. I have grandkids, but I can pretty much, if I wanted, just get up and leave and do me. And it's a very different. Like I don't have the army telling me what to do. Right, like if I wanted to travel tomorrow, I could travel. If I want to go here, I can do that. So but I also am using this as an opportunity to also remember that I have growth to do now too. And so one of the things every year, everyone does like a New Year's resolution. I do too, but I don't make it one that isn't going to be meaningful. This year, I'm like, I'm not going to be resentful. And so I really do. I have literally since uh, January 1st, whenever I felt resentful over anything, I'm like, oh no, it's your own fault, Ellyn. Like, if you don't tell people how you feel and they don't realize where you're coming from, that's on you and not on them. So you can't be resentful. And I've literally worked on that since January, and I'll continue to do it until December. And hopefully it has,
Stick on.
stick with me forever. And then I'll find something else to work on that, I feel that, over the last year I've really struggled with. But, continuing to grow is definitely part of this chapter for sure.
I like that. How about something you said like resolution, but something that a goal from here, like from today to the end of the year that you have that you're like you'll be proud of. You're like actually did it.
Actually did it. My goals are now to have fun, dude. I just
I
want to
love
have
it.
fun.
I love,
I love traveling. I love
do you have
laughing.
anything planned coming up or
I'm going to Florida in a few weeks with
nice?
my girls. I might go back to El Salvador in January.
How was it?
Last time, oh my god. So she lives in, oh god, Conchagua.
Okay, okay. I don't know
It's
if I
a little village, and I have no idea where it is. But when I went, it was during a celebration of, I don't even remember what it's called, but it was like a week long party, pretty much.
what month did you go?
January last year.
Yeah, they have a couple of parties over there. Like I know August they do some festival. September's Independence Day for us,
Yep.
which I want to go for one. And I hear Christmas is pretty good out there too.
Yes.
So I'm glad. I'm glad people are traveling over there.
Oh, it's
And
beautiful country. We went on the volcano, the one that's like
yeah,
on Instagram
yeah,
a
the
lot.
bluish kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was actually pretty close to her village. And then, and the blessed part of it is that my friend lives it. Like her family has a house there. So like I actually got immersed in the culture. I didn't like do the
The
touristy
tourist, yeah.
thing.
I feel like that's better.
Yes,
I feel like I mean
that's
to me, but
beautiful. But I want to keep traveling because I
what's
love to travel.
what's a place you got in mind that you want to go?
Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia.
Love it. Thailand's
That's
definitely out there for me too.
that is like my
Yeah,
big one that I need to do. And I just need to sit down and like budget it out and
plan it
like
out.
make it happen, which I will. Like I'll say probably within a year or two I'll be there.
That's cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And then last thing I have for you is, if you could go back to when you were like 18 or your younger self, now knowing what you know about yourself, what's something you would say to yourself?
Um forgive easy, forgive yourself, don't live in shame and guilt, and just do you.
I love it.
Yep.
We end it like that, guys.